All right, good Monday morning, everyone. This is Mike Montefusco, meteorologist, National Weather Service, Wakefield, Virginia. This is our weekly Monday briefing for the week of Monday, June the 8th, 2026. Let's go ahead and get started with our weekly highlights. Starting the week a little bit cooler. You'll be noticing some breezy northeasterly winds today and tomorrow. Generally near to below normal temperatures next couple of days, but you'll be noticing a gradual warm up as we go through the week ahead, as you'll see as we go through the planner here. Those rain chances will start to increase by the late week as well, although the rain chances do remain generally pretty low for overall aerial rainfall. So those drought conditions are expected to persist for the foreseeable future, given the lack of that widespread rainfall in the forecast. In terms of the high rip in effect for Virginia Beach, Northern Outer Banks areas, that is in place for today. A moderate rip risk is in effect for the Eastern Shore beaches today and will continue for all beaches as we get through the midweek period. Take a look at the weather pattern outlook for the week ahead here, and you can see we had a backdoor cold front drop through the region early this morning. That will provide some cooler temperatures, as I was mentioning, for the first couple of days. As that slides offshore, we are going to start to turn the winds around to the south-southwest, which will warm things up as we get into the mid to late week period. So you'll start to notice temperatures gradually ratcheting up, noticeably warmer Wednesday, and then some very warm to hot conditions as we get into Thursday and Friday. Towards that end, we are looking for heat index values in the upper 90s to around 100 degrees as we get into Thursday and Friday. So certainly these first couple of warm spells of the year certainly do raise that precaution for heat-related issues, heat exhaustion and the like. So certainly just plan ahead for those warm temperatures, avoid exertion during the peak heating times. Just kind of common sense measures, plenty of water on hand as always. So certainly just bear in mind we are looking at heat index values right around 100 degrees once again Thursday and Friday. Just kind of the extended view of that. Again, noticeably warmer as you get into Wednesday and then Thursday, Friday. Those times we're most concerned for getting right around 100 degrees for heat index values. Getting into the middle of June, certainly not something that's unusual for our area, but certainly noticeable as we get into the late week period on into this weekend. Accumulated precip forecast. Again, the chances for widespread rainfall generally still pretty low, but the rainfall chances do gradually ramp up as we get into Thursday, Friday of this week. Some lower end chances even on Wednesday. Once again, even though more isolated than anything else, better chances Thursday and Friday as those temperatures start to ramp up as well. Kind of breaking out your high temperature and low temperatures over the next week here. Again, once again, Thursday, Friday are going to be those peak times where we're most concerned for temperatures rising into the middle to upper 90s for highs. Heat index values topping out right around 100 degrees. Not quite as warm over the upcoming weekend, but still remaining quite warm. Low to mid 90s for most of the area. Low temperatures generally remaining in the 70s for a good portion of the mid to late week period. Cooler tonight, certainly temperatures a little bit more comfortable in terms of getting temperatures in the lower to middle 50s inland to right around 60 along the coast. And again, those rain chances do kind of increase gradually as you get into Thursday and Friday. Taking a look ahead to the weekend and into early next week, we are looking at for the Climate Prediction Center outlook, showing near to above normal temperatures favored across our region, with near to above normal precipitation also favored. So we'll start to see, again, those increasing rain chances on an aerial scale, still fairly low, but we do have those increasing chances as we get into the late week period, a more summer-like period as we get into late week, into early next week. The rip current forecast, once again, is for high rip risk for the beaches from the ocean front from Virginia Beach down to the Northern Outer Banks. Moderate rip for the Eastern Shore beaches, and that moderate rip risk continues for all beaches through midweek. Tropical weather, not too much of concern at this point. We are going to keep an eye on it for you, but otherwise, the good news is we are looking at rather quiet tropics at this time. And now as we get into The Sail 250 time range, we are looking for some of those selected ports that will start to be ramping up as we get into Sail 250 activities over the next week to 10 days here. This is for Yorktown, and again, you'll start to notice those really warmer temperatures. Late week into the weekend, heat index values topping out right around 100 degrees, with the increased chance of some isolated to widely scattered showers and storms each day from Thursday through the weekend. Similar situation over at Onancock. Again, not quite as warm out that way. Lower 90s for most of this period this weekend, with heat index values in the mid to upper 90s. But again, those rain chances do ratchet up just a little bit late week into the weekend. Similar situation at Richmond and Smithfield here, with temperatures increasing, heat index values topping out around 100 degrees, with isolated afternoon and evening showers and storms. And lastly, for the Smithfield area, generally mid to upper 90s to begin this period, Thursday, Friday, remaining quite warm with highs in the middle 90s over the weekend ahead, and heat index values topping out right around 100 degrees. Let's go ahead over to the marine side of things and switch over to that. And again, the headlines on the marine side of things, we are looking for ongoing small craft that is in effect for all local waters into this evening due to the elevated northeasterly wind. That onshore flow is going to remain gusty into this evening and then start to gradually lay down as we get into the overnight period tonight as that high pressure builds overhead. Seas will start to increase, especially as we get into the afternoon and evening hours here with that northeasterly swell and easterly swell kind of pushing our seas up a little bit. So we are anticipating another round of small craft conditions will be possible as we get into tomorrow afternoon, evening time frame, and especially into early Wednesday, with the winds start turning back around to the south as that high slides offshore and our winds turn around to more of a southwesterly wind direction. Once again, the high rip risk for southern beaches today from the ocean front to Virginia Beach on south, with a moderate rip for the northern beaches, and then that moderate rip continues for all beaches through midweek. Again, that weather pattern here for you, just kind of seeing that high pressure building overhead and then sliding offshore for the mid to late week period. And as we get into the weekend ahead here, that high pressure gradually starts to slide into more Bermuda Ridge position as another front kind of approaches the area later in the weekend into early next week, and kind of a very similar situation where we have a little bit of a cool down and then we warm up once again as we get into the middle of next week. Marine threat potential, next few periods here for today and tonight. Again, obviously that onshore flow is going to remain gusty and allow that small craft for all of our marine areas of responsibility near shore here today and through tonight. A little bit better conditions as we get into the period later on tonight and into the day tomorrow. Once again, we are looking at for some small craft potential tomorrow night on into Wednesday and Wednesday night, with that southerly, southwesterly wind starting to increase, perhaps getting gusty, especially near shore out of the south-southwest in the lower James, Chesapeake Bay, and near shore waters. So we'll have to watch out for that Wednesday afternoon, evening time frame on into Thursday morning. And then more summer-like conditions Thursday, Friday, very hot, some onshore winds in the afternoon and early evening hours with that sea breeze. Otherwise, a little bit more benign as we get into the late week period on the waters. Breaking down that marine potential for you as we get into the next few days here. We are onshore next couple of days, today and tonight and tomorrow, before our winds turn back around offshore Tuesday night, Wednesday, and into the latter portions of the week as we start to warm up. Offshore waters, you are going to start to see, again, this very same trend where we have our winds start to turn around offshore as we get into tomorrow night and on into Wednesday. That potential for some marginal small craft, especially for the nearshore waters on Wednesday night. We are still watching that, so keep an eye out for that near shore. Otherwise, a little bit more benign as we get into the late week period as well. And breaking that down, take a look at that a little bit greater detail, a little bit more benign conditions as we get into the late week period. So we are watching for a period of elevated winds, onshore winds today and tonight, and those winds turn around back offshore as you get into tomorrow night on into the midweek period, and then gradually laying down as our high pressure starts to slide off into Bermuda Ridge position for the Thursday, Friday time frame. As far as the waves go, again, we are going to start to see, especially near shore, you start to see the at Thimble Shoal and the Bay Bridge Tunnel and Cape Henry, you start to see those 3 to 4 to even 5 foot waves getting into the lower bay. That'll be with our onshore flow of our east-northeasterly wind. So you'll start to see that, especially as you get into the afternoon and evening hours here today and tonight. And that'll start to diminish a little bit as our winds start to lay down and turn back around to the south tomorrow, especially late tonight tomorrow, and then beginning into midweek. But certainly that does start to come back a little bit as you get into mid to late week period, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening time frame, with those winds starting to become gusty once again out of the south-southwest. Similar situation here on the nearshore coastal waters. Start to see 4 to 6 foot seas start to ramp up with that easterly swell, starting to increase our wave heights next couple of forecast periods. And then we get into the tomorrow into Wednesday time frame. We do start to lay down a little bit with our winds and our waves starting to diminish a little bit, but they do start to increase once again Wednesday night on into Thursday with our increasing southerly flow. Similar situation you can see here for day one here today with our increasing wave heights, with our easterly swell starting to increase a little bit. Starts to diminish slightly as we get into the day tomorrow, and then you really start to see it ramp back up again as you get into Wednesday night and Thursday with that increasing southerly wind. Once again, the rip current forecast is for high rip risk for the North Carolina beaches on up into the ocean front of Virginia Beach. Moderate rip risk for all beaches and for our northern beaches today. Tropical, once again, is not really a big concern at this time. We are going to keep an eye on it for you, obviously, but no activity as anticipated over the next week or so. That's really all we have here for our briefing. I thank you so much for joining us here on this Monday morning. We will talk to you again later this week. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with us on the usual channels. Thank you so much. Have a great day.